So Jay asked, what WinSCP do? So let's just open WinSCP. This is my WinSCP. What WinSCP does is, I have a file in my local computer, my host machine, like my Windows machine. I am trying to send a file or copy a file from my Linux machine to my local host machine. So how I'm gonna do that? So for that, either we use WinSCP or we can use FileZilla. And we tell the IP address 192.168.16.139. This is the IP address of my Linux machine. And I can tell the username is root and the password is root123. So if I hit login, you can see this is my Windows laptop. On the left side, I have my C, D, E, Z drives available. And
sorry, Zishan, what program is this? It's not PuTTY, right?
It's WinSCP.
Okay, so Windows Secure Connection, maybe something like that.
Yeah, Windows Secure Copy, maybe. I mean, I don't really know the.
So it's another way of connecting to your Linux host, basically.
Linux host for copying and pasting the files. Through PuTTY,
okay.
you cannot download a file.
Yeah, because it's two different systems, right? So okay.
Yes, two different systems, and maybe one system is your laptop, and the other system is placed in, let's say, Germany, and you have only PuTTY or SSH access to it, but you want to download some file. So on the network, it will download it. Let's say I have this is my root. So as we can see in our Linux, we have root, boot, data, etc, home. All the directories are available here.
Yes.
And in var, we have created a backup folder, and then we had data2 and these text files. So if I want to copy it in my E drive, let's say my E drive, and I can go one step up. So these are all the VMs I have created in my E drive, Centos 7 template, blah, blah, blah. So if I want to copy anything from here to there, I will just need to drag and drop it.
Okay, and this program will do whatever it takes to copy from one platform to the other. Okay.
Yes, I have my my public key here. So if I want to drag it here, it's just copy it. I can rename it, delete it, download it, duplicate it, and so many stuff.
Okay. So this is for just for, okay, sorry.
Yeah.
No, I'm asking, like, is this just for the WinSCP? Is it also like it is just for the remote host, or it is also for the virtual workstation VM that you created on your own desktop as well?
Yeah, what's this virtual machine? This is behaving like a real Linux machine. Nothing is, I mean, there are simulators. We are not simulating anything. We are doing the actual work. Even if you are working with the cloud, it will be the same. We have installed the real Linux machine from the RHEL ISO, and I will tell you in detail how we are doing all this stuff and how this virtualization works and what are the types of virtualization.
Okay.
So, but in the later classes.
So you're basically transferring file over GUI.
Yes.
You have to send it to your machine, right? Instead of
so it's just a file transfer application.
Okay. Yes, correct. Okay. And there are other mechanisms, but then you have to set it up. Like you can set up a FTP server. File transfer protocol. That's all the way another protocol. You can download and upload files through FTP, but then you need to install the package FTP. You need to set the permissions. You need to set a lot more things. So if you have the root access or if you have SSH available, so it is very easy to do it. But there are mechanisms. There is another protocol called Samba. We can share the files through Samba, but we don't need to set up anything if one default thing is available with us.
Okay. Say suppose if I don't have access, let's talk about in a real scenario.
Okay. By the way, this is a real scenario, but we are discussing
I will not get root access, right? Yeah, I will not get a root access if I'm going and working for.
But when you are coming with user your own root user, maybe you have your user J. Okay.
Okay.
So then you will have access to at least your home directory, and you can upload and download anything from your home directory.
Okay, got it.
You're not allowed to download anything, or maybe you are allowed to download anything, but if you have the permissions. So technically, there is no issue. If you have your user root, this port SSH is open, and this protocol you are allowed to use this protocol. If you're not allowed to use this protocol, then your service administrator can give you FTP or anything else. But then you are not, you don't have the shell access to this machine in any way. We are talking that scenario. If you don't have any access, then we can set up FTP server, file transfer protocol server. It is very easy to set up.
Okay.
And we can do that. So let's come to the. I mean, we can do this using FileZilla also. There is another software. We can use that. Now, let's discuss some permissions. For many days, I was doing the data folder was there or not. I don't know where the data is. Anyway, we can create it actually. Test. We can go in test and we can touch abc.txt. Unless minus a also. I thought what? Oh, sorry. I have created two files now. ABC, because by mistake I have typed space. So there are two files created, ABC and .txt. So I don't need I don't need .txt. So I will go with ABC. So I have a file ABC and we have few permissions here. Read, write. This one is read, this one is read. You can see the screen, right? And
yes. But it will be beneficial if you can put it a little up.
Okay.
Bring the screen up a little.
The screen is it's like.
No, I mean to say at least hit couple enters.
Okay.
Yeah.
So these first three, this read, write, and there is a hyphen. Plus there is read, write. I mean, there's no read, there is read and two more hyphens available. And then there is this read and two hyphens available. Let me go on the board. I can better explain it there. So let's say I have a file. It has 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. This is the owner. This is the group. And any/others. So every file can have an owner, or it must have an owner, and then some group. Maybe there is a group, and it has some specific permissions available for that group. And there is anyone can access the file with what permissions. So what Linux does is, we have three permissions: read, write, and execute. So R for read, W for write, and X for execute. So there are some values associated with it. The value of read is 4. The value of write is 2. And the value of execute is 1. So 4, 5, 6, 7. The total value is 7. If I want that the owner has read and write permission, so read and write 4 plus 2 equal to 6. Let's say 6. There is a group. What I want, the group should have only read plus execute permission. So read plus execute. 4 plus 1 is 5. And anyone else have the read permissions. So the value is 654. Are you getting it?
Yes.
So what I will do is, I will modify chmod 654 and the file name. So it will change the permission like that. If I want to say that everybody, owner, group, and any other user, they all should have read, write, and execute. So what will be the permissions? Can you tell me?
Can you repeat the question again?
I have a file, and I want that everybody should have read, write, and execute permissions simultaneously to every user, the owner, the group, and any other user. So what will be the
777.
Yes, it will be 777. So I will do chmod 777 and the file name.
So Zishan, change mode is to modify the permissions on file as well as directory, or just the files?
And the files and the directories, but we will go with when we will go with the directories, we will go the recursive switch. That's it.
Okay.
So we will do it, but only we need to whenever we are applying some when we are deleting it, when we are adding it, when we are working with the directory, we do if we want to do it recursively, then we use the R switch, the directories, subdirectories, and anything like that. So that's how the permission works. So let's go for someone else. Jay, and please, you just hold on, and I want to ask it from Syra. Yeah. So if I want to, only the owner should have read and write permission, and nobody else should have any permissions. What should I do? What will be the permissions? Okay, so she's not here. Sheikh Abid. What will I do if I only want the owner has read permission, read write permission, and nobody should have any permissions?
I think 6 for the owner, but not sure about rest of the two.
6 for the owner and 0 for all of them.
Zero, zero.
Oh, okay, 0, 0. So if you don't want to give any authorization, then it's 0, 0.
Yes, it's 0, 0.
Got it.
So I think
Did you call my name just now?
yes, a couple of seconds ago that
Oh, I'm sorry. I was on a call.
Okay, doesn't
just
matter
came back.
now. Just came back, so you don't know about these permissions now. What I'm doing?
Yeah, I know.
I know.
I
Okay,
know.
that's good. So let me ask you that I want to have a file with the read and execute permission. Everybody should have read and execute permission. So what will be the
555.
555? But the owner should have read, write, execute, and everybody else should have read and execute.
Owner should have read and write. Everyone. Okay.
Read,
For
write,
read and
execute.
write, it should be 6. Okay.
Okay,
For
6.
for everything, it should be 7.
Yes, and anyone
Then
else should have read and execute.
Read and execute. Then 55.
Coming back to the screen. So if you can see the file ABC, the owner has read write permission. Owner is the root and the group is the root. And the group has read permission and anyone should have also a read permission. Correct? Let's go to our home directory.
Zishan, can I ask you a question?
Yes.
For editing and deleting, is it part of the write or execute? Does it come in write permission if you want to allow somebody to edit or delete a file?
Yes, write and execute.
Okay, so sorry, so W is the permission that will give them the
Write
editing
permission.
capability.
Yes.
Okay. So read is just read only.
Just read is read. And if
You cannot change anything, right?
yes.
But if you want to edit, delete, or do anything with the file, then you have to give the W permission, which is the write permission, right?
Yes. And if you want, yeah.
And what about the execute? What does is just the application?
What does execute does? You know, Linux. I told you Linux doesn't work with extensions.
Okay.
So let's say I have a file. I can go into ABC. And I can touch a file. script.sh. I means it's a script. It's a shell script.
Okay.
So which bash? So this is my bash.
So
Which command find the exact path of the binary? I can say which ls, which
user bin ls. Okay, so it gives you the path. Okay.
Yeah, this gives the path of that binary. So and any command we use cat.
Okay. And
So,
Zishan, like we hear a lot of time about downloading the binaries, download the binaries on Unix system. So what is binary? Is the executable, whatever this command is, it what binaries are?
no, the
Like shell is a binary,
binary is a complete package.
and it can have multiple things in it.
Yes.
Okay, so
I mean,
for example,
this VI has so many dependencies. Like it has libraries, it has some other code available with it. VI is just not a VI. It is a complete package.
okay.
And there is an option we will discuss. Maybe we can discuss it today if you get time. You can install a package with a binary. You can install a package with a package manager. You can install a package with RPM.
RPM.
So yes, RPM.
Okay.
So we will do it, but let's go to the script. I have a bash available, so I will go in my script, and I can say this is my, let's say, bash, and I want to ECHO echo hello world. Okay, what I can do is I can run this file script script.
You're missing an S. Yeah.
No, the file is placed here. Yeah. So anyways, we cannot execute this file. It's placed at var. No, it's placed at home. ABC and script. No, it's not allowing me to do it. Anyways, what we need to do is first we have to tell ls-al.
So you don't have the execute permission there on the
I
file.
don't have the execute permission. That's why it's not allowing me.
You're not able to run the script basically.
So either I can add. Sorry, I can add a permission to script ls-lx, and the color is changed. It's now green. Okay. So if it is green, now I have enabled the execution of this script. So now it is allowing me to run this script.
Okay.
So I was trying to run it before, it was not allowing me to run it because it was not a script and it has no execute permission attached to it. So the only thing which makes the script a script is its permissions.
Okay.
And if I am executing it, you can see hello world.
It shows the hello world.
because
Okay,
I
now
used
one-
it.
Okay.
Yeah. I used the
so-
command echo inside that script. So
Okay.
it ran that command and printing it on the screen. Now you can ask.
Okay, now so when you run a script, you have to be in that directory to run it, right?
No.
Not
I can
really.
go-
Okay, so you can give the full path and then do it.
Yes, I am going. I am on the root, and I know that my script is in home ABC
Okay.
and script, and I can
So-
run it like that.
So maybe you need to know the whole path, or you have to be in that directory to run it, right?
Yes.
Okay.
And
once-
yeah.
And one more question: once you change the mode to an execute, is it one-time thing, or it stays with the file forever till you change it back?
It's forever till you change it back.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. Go ahead. Thank you, Sushant.
And one more thing. Let's say you have a script, and maybe let me go to the topics. If no, it's not there. Anyways, let's say I want to run this script every minute, maybe every hour, maybe every day, or whatever. So I want to have this script to be in etc cron tab.
Yeah. Cron jobs. Okay.
Yeah, these are our cron jobs. So I can say is go with insert mode. Now you know insert is very important, and you should know how to edit a file. So it is telling me if you want to run it on every minute, I can use static. Then I can go with our, let's say I want to run it at 4 o'clock every day. I mean, every hour, sorry, at the 4th hour. With the 4th hour and with 4th hour on every minute, I want to execute this file. Which day? 1 to 31. I want to say every day. And which month? Every month. I should type tab so that it's easily visible. And which day of a week? Every day. With which user permissions you want to run it? You want to run it as a normal user, or you want to run as root user? So you type the user, and then the path is home. It was abc and script.sh. So what you can do is every day, every month, every week at 4 o'clock, at 4th hour in the morning, or you can just do static here, and you can say maybe 2 o'clock at 0, and in the hour I can say 2. So every day at 2 o'clock this script will run, or 4 o'clock. So that's how you can automate it through a cron job.
Oh, okay.
Quick question, Jishan.
Yeah.
If you're done.
Yeah, I'm done.
Okay. All right. Say suppose I don't have permissions to root. Still, I can specify root here, and it will
No.
execute as root. Okay.
If
So I
you
need to
don't,
have
if you
permission.
don't have permission, but the file has if the file has the permission, then you can do it. If the file has root access, and by the way, if you are not a root user, maybe you are not allowed to edit this file.
No, but I created this shell, this file, and let's talk about the script, right? I created the shell script. I wrote the script, and I want to execute it every day at certain time.
So let's do it now. I am saving it, and su minus esxi vi etc cron tab, and yes, changing the read only thing, and let's say static 2 3 4 5 root, and let's see if I'm able to save it. Yes. Press enter to continue. If you are not a root user, you're not allowed to change the file. Cron.
Okay.
And cron tab minus e. Now, there is actually another file. Cron tab minus L. No cron for Zishan. Okay, minus E. And we have to make our separate cron file. We cannot edit the root file. With cron tab minus E, you have your own cron tab file available. And we can use the same syntax as we were discussing. Let's say static tab, static tab, static tab, static. And in my home /abc /script.sh and cron tab minus L. So you have one cron job available. You cannot edit that file. Hello, Jay?
Yeah, I'm here.
So that etc cron tab is for root only.
Root only. Okay. Yep.
So I'm gonna
because
admit.
I'm trying to run scenarios in my head, like say suppose if somebody sends you a file and asks you to run the script. Happened before, that's why I'm
Yes, so then you can create your own cron tab with that
so it's
user.
easier,
So the
it's
cron tab
easier
minus
to
is E.
Mhm.
E is for edit, L is for a list.
Okay, got it.
But mostly I have the root access, so I go there and do it. Anyways, or at least I have the sudo access if I don't have the root access. So we are done with the, no, we are not done. We need to add a user. So the ABC is a user. How many users do I have? Lishan and ABC. Let's create a user. What should I call this for this class? Let's say Bob. Yeah, that's a better name. So I am adding a user Bob. I can use some other switches, -m, -l, or I just create add user Bob, but I want to specify bin bash. I have bin bash available, or user bin bash. Maybe I want him to use this shell, or there is something coming in my mind, but let me then Bob. So either we use the switches and specifically tell that this user will use this shell, this user will have a directory available, and let's say vi or cat etc shells. So we have sh bin tch. Okay, there's another option I remember. If I don't know if it is available in Linux or not. In BSD we have another thing that no shell was a shell. It was actually not a shell. So if the user is created, it will not access the shell. So, but in our shells, it's not available. Let's see, USR. Come on, USR bin. Find minus name shell parent. Find minus name. What I am doing wrong here?
You missed an asterisk before shell and dot.
No, it should be find minus name, the word shell. Okay, and I'm saying it, the dot. It's not allowing me to use dot here somehow.
No, I'm saying before and after you have to have asterisk for shell.
Yes, I agree, but it is not allowing me to search it here in the USR. There is on the path USR. It's not allowing me somehow on this path explicitly in the binaries. Anyways, I'll check it and I'll explain you later because it is wasting our time. So we can go with no shell also. So add user Bob, and we can set password for Bob, and the password will be root123. For testing, I always go with root123. It is giving me the warning that the password fails the dictionary check and it's too simple and whatever. So the password is creating, and now at our home directory, Bob is available. Let's add group add class. So we have a class group available now. And let me tell you one more thing. There is a file etc shadow. All the users are available in this file. So I have Zishan, I have ABC, and I have Bob, and their passwords and all the parameters are in this shadow file. So we have so many users already there. RPC user, remote procedure call, NFS, and the root is the most powerful user. This is on the top with the ID 0. Every user has its ID. So root is the most powerful user with 0 ID. Anyways, so our users are here in our etc shadow file. We can check the user names. If let's say,
sorry, Zishan, you said with the 0 ID is the most powerful user?
Yes, every user in Windows and Linux have ID associated with it. It's a numeric number.
Root ID is 0 all the time?
Root ID is 0 all the time. And in Microsoft Windows, if I remember it correctly, 500 is the ID of us administrator.
Okay. And in Linux, Unix system is 0.
It's 0. And if you can give anybody 500 permission in Windows, then he has the access of everything. So
if you give him 500 permission.
500 ID. The ID in Windows is 500. The system ID for that particular user. So in Microsoft it is 500. In Linux it starts from 0 and goes all the way up. And let's say for 1000, for early 1000, the IDs are restricted. So if I create any other user other than 1000, maybe it will start from 1,000 and above.
Okay.
Anyway, so I have a user, and let's go to var and log. We have created cd test. Yes, it is there. So what I want to do is chmod minus r, because it's a directory. Okay, chmod minus r 777 to this directory test. So now anyone has access, because read, write, execute, everyone can have can edit if there is any file in abc. This is a folder or file? It's a folder. So let's say su minus pop, and now go to var log and test ls, and there is a file abc. I want to move abc as abc.txt. So now it is abc.txt, and I want to say hi. Escape. So I am reading and writing this file because anybody has the permission to read, write, rename this file. So now exit out. ls -al test. So the user is root, and now what I want to do is chmod minus r. Okay, 755 to this test directory. So if I do ls -ali test, it is read execute for the root and read and execute for the any group, and anyone else have just read and execute. So now let's go back to Bob and go to var log test and abc.txt, shift a, enter, escape. No, I cannot write it because now actually, let's go back to the file ls -ali test. So I was working on a file which has root access, sorry, which has a root user and a root group. So Bob is neither root, Bob is neither in the group root. So Bob is the any or other user. So any or other user have just read and execute permission. Let's say I can say what I can do is I have changed the group of this folder with the class. Now the user is root, but the group is class. Now every member of a class has again read and execute permission. So let's say chmod minus r read, write, execute, and anyone should have just read and execute permission to this test. So I can go to Bob again and try to edit this file, but this will not work. Do we agree?
Yes.
Because the class is a group, but Bob is not part of that group. So what we can do is we can modify our user. Give me a second.
This will be like user permissions, particular user permissions.
For all the users available in that group.
No, I don't want to change the group settings, but I just want to give permission to a particular user.
Okay, what if you want to do is then you change the owner of this file to that user. If Bob should have, if you want that only Bob has access to it, then only Bob can has access to it. You can change the owner to Bob. And then everybody else you want to have different permissions, you can add them in a group, and then that group will have custom permissions. Only one user should have specific permission, and all the group should have a separate permission. Is this what you are asking?
Yes, yeah, that was my question.
Okay. So why we are going with the root, because root has all the permission, and we want Bob to edit this file, and let's say we don't want Zishan. Let's say we want Bob and ABC to edit this file, but we don't want Zishan to edit this file, but we want Zishan just to read this file. So what was our group name, class?
Test.
No, the group was class. Yeah, you see, and the user was Bob. We are not discussing the folder here. We are saying we want to modify a user. -a means don't take out this user from any other group if it is available in that group. -g, what I can do is I can separate it. So you can see, I can like combine it or separate it. Minus G, the group name is class and the username is Bob. So Bob user is added to the class group. Now we can see this test directory has class group available, and the, let's see it again, ls minus al.
Yeah, the permission is all.
Permission is for the group, it is all.
All. Yeah.
So let's go to Bob again and try to log, no, var log and test. And let's try to edit this file. Hello, there. I'm able to edit it. Okay, let's go to Zishan. I hope the password is, okay, it will ask me the password because I am switching from non-root user. So your root is the super user, root doesn't require a password. Okay, so the password is perfect. cd var log and test. Let's see vi abc.txt, and if I say, okay, no, you are editing a read-only file, and yes, it is not allowing me to write. So I am quitting because this file is owned by root, and the group is class, and the user Zishan is not in that group. So what I can do is I can read the content of this file because I have given anyone else to read this file, but I'm not allowing. Let's do it one more thing. And I don't actually mostly use it, but let's try it. chmod minus ls minus al test. So okay, chmod minus, sorry, -r 7702 test. Okay, now su Zishan more
We don't even have read
log
permissions now.
and test, and it be no, the file is not there. You see, permission denied. Okay, let's go into the directory. Test. We all know that the directory is there. Var log test is the directory, but I don't. But let's switch to Bob, and the password should be root123. Yep. So now I will copy the command, same command, and it is giving me the output. So we agree the Bob is in the correct group, right?
Yes, and he has correct permissions.
Yes. So anyone
sweet.
having issue, because it is a bit, I mean, ls minus al. So no, I'm not in that directly exactly. Should be working with the root directly. So and this test. So these were my permissions. So only the user root and the group, they have all the permissions. I mean, we set up permissions if we are running Apache server or we are running any server. Let's say we only want particular data to be written on particular directory, and everything else should be read only, and there should be some files. Nobody should have any access to it. So that's how users, groups, and but let me tell you a few more commands related to it, and then we can go for questions. So I have a command get ent group class. So in my class, Bob is available. I mean, I only have user Bob available. If I want to see the users
Within a particular class.
group, and then we have a command gpasswd -delete delete. Our username was Bob, and the group name was class. So removing user Bob from group class. So now if we go with that checking the users, we don't have any users available. So what I can do is I can share these commands. I will go in history, and okay, so there is so much I have done. Okay, I will filter out the commands. I can share it with you so that you can practice. Plus, if you want to know that what's the command for I use for add grep at user. So it will filter out that you use this command. How many times I used vi? That many times. So that's how you can grab history also. Now we are open for questions here. So any confusion in permissions, ownership, group, other users. And in the meanwhile, I can go with the topic of today. I can see my document. What we need else to cover today.
I just have a quick question on permissions.
Yes.
Just out of curiosity, if a user doesn't have permissions to write or edit any file,
Write and edit.
What's the point of giving execute permission?
write and edit. You do not execute. Actually, when we are switching directories, there is some backend execution happening. Something is executed so that we go into that directory. So we always give the execute permission if we are traversing the directories.
Okay, so for backend process, we have to give permission, execute permission, along with either read or write.
Yes.
Okay.
But not to the files, to the directories only.
To the directories, yes.
Not to the files.
So there is no such scenario where we can just give read only.
Just read like 444.
Not for just for a user. I just don't want, like, say suppose for Bob, I just want to give read only permissions. So I'm giving him read, but
Plus execute. Yes.
Plus execute. What's
execute
the
to the directory only, not the file. For the file, you can give the permission for. You can give read only.
Okay.
But to the directory, you will give read and execute. So let's do it.
Got it.
What I will do is, my screen is shared, right?
Yes.
So what I will do is chmod minus. Okay, now chmod. You are saying that the Bob is the user. I will give him the 5 to test. So now the directory ls minus ali test. I mean, I always type I because I see the INO number, just my habit. So the directory has the one step back. This dot shows that my okay, now I'm not in the test, right? Oh, so it's telling me the test directory has read, execute, read, execute, read, execute. But the file has read, write, execute, read, write, execute. So what I can do is I can go in test and chmod 444 to abc.txt. So now ls minus al. And I am editing with root, so it has changed the ownership. Change on pop. So ls minus al. So now the Bob and everyone has the read permission. I'm not giving execute permission, but my directory has got read, write, read and execute. So let's switch to Bob. Let's see what happens. cd var log cd test, and I can go abc. Right, I'm reading the file I have, but if I change the directory's permission to 444, then I will not. Let's do a practical here. Chmod 444 to the test directory. Now I'll switch back to Bob. So now I go to cd var log cd. Okay, test. Permission denied.
Got it. So you don't even have the permission for that.
Because when we are switching directories, actually we are executing something to go into that directory, some command. We are executing some command. So we cannot traverse the directories if execute permission is not there. So if you want to customize it, you can do it like that. So,
okay, you can read only permission at the file level, but execute have to be there at the directory level.
At directory level, so that anybody can at least come to that directory. And if you don't want that, then of course root has the permission to go anywhere. I mean, you cannot restrict root. That's the thing. So we did creating users, groups, file directory permissions, owners. We done that. Okay, now we can go to the repositories. What's a repository? Everybody with me, or it's getting boring?
No, we are here, but I guess we have to just wrap our head around it.
So okay, so I can go into the installing a package. So let's go back. What's a repository? So we have etc yum.reposd. We have this directory. I will not. Okay, I can ask. You want to cover repositories? Are you good with the pace, or should I stop here? Because we still have 10, 15 minutes, 20 minutes available. I suppose everyone wants me to continue, right?
I'm good.
You're good. So let's say everybody's good. If I want to install a package, then yum. And what's yum? It's a package manager. And I want to say install.
Is it predefined or we are giving it a name like yum? Or is
No,
it
it's a package. It's package. It's predefined. It's for Linux. For Ubuntu, it's apt-get. For BSD, it's ports. So every operating system has its own package manager. So for I'm using Linux, RHEL, Centos. Fedora, they have yum. So yum install yum install. Okay, either I can do telnet. So it will go onto the internet and will say, okay, I am installing the package telnet. Forget what telnet does. Is this okay? You want to do it? Yes, no. I can say yes. So it will download the telnet package. It will ask few more things to download, and then it is installed. So I can use command telnet now. The other day, I told you yum install -y. I use the -y switch because I don't want to you guys to type press enter. Is this package okay? This and that. So with -y switch, whatever is the question, it will always say yes. And I did was net-tools. It is already installed and to the latest version. Okay, bind-utils. So yes, couple of packages are available, and it installed it automatically by even resolving the dependencies, all the dependent packages. For bind utils, we have bind libs lite, bind license, and yeah, pretty much it. So all the dependencies are upgraded, and everything is done by default. So that's how a package manager works. And we will discuss repositories tomorrow, but let me show you. Let's hope if that data is available with me. I guess yes. I can share you. Yeah, let me see. I can find that file. Yeah, I got it. So that's new share. This is WinSCP. I think that's it. Yes, that's it. So if I can zoom it a bit. Yep. So in older days, let's say if I need to install this, somebody asked me how we installed from the binaries. Who was that?
I think that was Gore.
That was Gore? Okay. So I have a binary available. And what I will do is the binary depends these packages to be available by default before installing that binary. Okay. So let's say if I want to install PHP, I mean, it's 10 years old file, so it's available in my backup. So I just pulled it out. So to install PHP 5.3, I need to install first these 3 packages, this 4th package, and we need to install the curl. But before installing curl, we need to install all these packages. Then we can install this. Okay. Let's say I need to install FreeTDS, but to install this, we need to install first this package. And to install this package, we first need to install these 2 packages. Then we can install this. Yeah.
So this is like, so you're telling us like this is how we install packages, or what is required in a package?
Yes, that's how we install packages. But this all the dependencies nowadays
has to be installed first.
Nowadays you can do yum. If you have a binary, you know the dependencies. You can install the dependencies through yum.
Okay.
But in older days, when we had no yum available, when we used to install everything from binaries, so
then
we had to go one by one. We had to go one by one, and then you see everything is done. Then you go you have the binary in the tar form. You extract it. You go into there, and then you either there is a file. Mostly it was .configure, or it can be any file. I mean, I have used a couple of switches that install this thing. This thing is installed here. MySQL is installed at this directory. So if you want anything related to MySQL, go into that directory. You can disable this feature. You can enable this feature. Blah 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 blah. And then when this configuration is done, if anyone is a programmer here, if you remember, we compile a code, then we run a code. So then we do the make command. Make compiles it. If no error comes, then you do the make install thing. So that's how you install the binary packages. And mostly these things are pretty old, and people do not use it. Now everyone uses the package manager, but before the package managers, before yum, before these fancy operating systems, when we have Solaris, AIX, we had not the luxury to install a package manager. The package manager will be resolving the dependencies, installing it. We had to do it everything, and everybody agrees that we installed the Linux in a couple of minutes. And in older days, we used to set up a web server, and it takes from installing the OS to the point where Apache is running, it can take even 5 to 6 days to set up that server. So how tedious it was. And we have not discussed snapshots here. So we are in very ease era. the focus is not on operating system anymore. It's now on CI/CD, and that also became very fast. We have gone to the containers. The VM takes a lot of resources. So we will discuss when we will go to the containers. I am going to stop the share and the recording.